Hey everybody, welcome to Kyle Not Kyle Show. I'm Kyle.
I'm not Kyle.
And we're doing our Week 6 recap and Week 7 preview. Had an interesting slate of games this week. I ended up going 4-2. And what did you end up going?
3-3.
3-3. All right, and what's our overall right now?
You are 19-16. I am 18-17.
All right, one game lead. All right, so
which means we can work for NFL Total Access.
Yes. Let's do it, man. I'd love to work with Willie McGinnis. All right, so hopping right in, we're going to get started off with the Thursday night game. New York Giants at the New England Patriots. This one went pretty much as expected score-wise. Patriots win 35-14. Bill Belichick is 20-5 versus rookie quarterbacks, 13-0 at Gillette. So I mean, yeah, I wasn't real worried about this
was
game.
Shocked.
No one was shocked. No one was shocked.
For a while there, when they were the Giants were in it, I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
it was so funny. I turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
And Jones throws the pick where Gilmore toe taps on the sideline.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I've done this to this poor bastard twice now. I turned it on. He's thrown a pick.
Just stop watching Giants games. Wait,
live.
Rob, keep watching Giants games live. Please keep watching Giants games live. So this is a little stat I dug up about Jamie Collins. After he was drafted by New England. They traded him away a couple years ago. He goes to Cleveland, has a decent season, then kind of disappears. They release him. He comes back to New England. Through 6 weeks, he is the only player with at least 4 sacks. He has 4.5, and 3 interceptions. Also has 4 passes defensed. Only 2 guys with this similar sort of varied stat line is Logan Ryan, who has 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 6 passes defensed. Plays for the Titans. And then T.J. Watt, 4 sacks, 1 interception, and 3 passes defensed. And he has 2 forced fumbles. That's second in the league. Only Whitney Merciless has more. He has 4, which that doesn't surprise me because Merciless is a beast. So, yeah, good seeing Jamie back in New England. So,
well, hopefully he has those numbers when they play teams that have somewhere close to a winning record.
Right. Hey, man, wins win.
Oh, no. Oh, I know.
Hey, shut up.
That division is hands down the weakest division in the NFL. There's not even, I don't even know who the second would be. New England has more wins than the rest of the division that they're in.
Yeah. Hey, man, I don't know. Jets look pretty good. Jets got Sam Darnold back.
So I know what we talked about on. Did you think the Jets looked that good or the Dallas looked that bad?
I think it was a combo of both. I think Dallas was not expecting Darnold to be that fired up out of the gate, being first game back. I think that kind of caught him unawares, and then I think they were kind of on their heels for the rest of the game. I was impressed. I was impressed with what I saw from Darnold. Granted, a 99-yard touchdown run after a 4th and goal stop. That's kind of a good thing. Robbie Anderson loves having him back. But yeah, so who knows? Fun little side note. Harmon getting the interception that completed the hat trick for the Rutgers defensive backs in New England. Now all 3 Rutgers DBs have a pick, both McCourties and Harmon. But going on, we'll go ahead and move on to the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs game. Was this one of your what games?
No.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
I picked the Texans.
Oh, that's right. You did pick the Texans. I'm sorry. This is my what game? Yeah, Chiefs drop 2 at home.
To 2 good teams, though.
Yes. Which the one concern is, out of his last 7 home games, Patrick Mahomes has 4 losses.
Oh, that's like saying right now Tom Brady's carrying the New England Patriots.
I would actually argue with that.
The defense is carrying.
I would say the defense is carrying.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. It's like saying Brady's responsible for their wins. It's like, nah, that Chiefs defense is allowing a lot.
Oh, one of their defensive linemen basically said, "Hey, man, we're making every running back look like the next coming of Barry Sanders or But their run defense is terrible.
That's their plan, is to try to get out ahead. I remember the Colts had this view too, is to get out ahead to where the run game is you're not running anymore.
Yeah.
The problem is with that philosophy, it has to work 100% of the time.
Yep.
And then they don't have that loss. I said this last year. That loss of Kareem Hunt is still getting them. I think McCoy does okay, but McCoy can't run between the tackles with any kind of attitude.
Yeah.
And having Hill back did make it.
Oh yeah, what was it? 80 yards he had.
Yeah, 2 and two touchdowns.
Yeah. Watson had a good game. He spread it around 7 different receivers.
Yeah, he did.
I did have to laugh at some of the pundits. This game means he is squarely in the debate for MVP. Like 280 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Not sure about that, but okay.
In Arrowhead, I think he's up because he does have a lot of yards.
Yeah.
But Russell Wilson still has no picks. Him and Mahomes, I think, have 15 touchdowns, but no picks.
Yeah.
0 picks.
Yeah. Carlos Hyde, nice little game for him, 116 yards. Yeah.
They looked solid.
They really did. They really did. I mean, you know me. I've liked the Texans. I love DeAndre Hopkins. I love the head coach. I love Watson. They got Kiki Cutie back, so he had a little game.
The thing this year is they're winning these games that last year they lost.
Exactly. I agree. So they walk out of Arrowhead with a W. Final score 31-24. We'll move on to a NFC matchup, the Philadelphia Eagles at Minnesota Vikings.
That was the Vikings team that's supposed to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this was the Vikings team that was supposed to have showed their head last year and this year.
They're 4-2. I mean, they're still moving along.
Kirk Cousins, what a stat line. 22 of 24, 333 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
I guess your receiver needs to come out and go, listen, man. Then you're like, okay, don't worry. I'll throw 3 touchdowns, 400 yards.
Right.
We'll get a win.
Yeah. So Diggs on 7 receptions, 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think he's happier again.
They also they started to establish the run. I mean, they looked solid. They just looked solid.
Yeah. Which that's another question. How much of that had to do with the fact that the Eagles are just dropping corners everywhere? They're having a lot of issues, and I thought it was hilarious. The linebacker, Zach Brown, I think it is, that was trashing Cousins all week long about how he's overpaid, overrated, blah, 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 blah. He was released, like, first thing Monday morning. It was like, okay, is that because your play wasn't where they wanted it, or is it because you just gave a team bulletin board material and they just pounded you? So I just had a little bit of a chuckle about that. I'm still not sold on Carson Wentz.
It's like I said before. 1 week you're watching him going, oh my gosh, you're bottom 5 quarterback. Next week you're watching him, you're going, you're MVP of the league, hands down. This isn't even a conversation. It's
man, for being the number 3 overall or whatever. I think he's too inconsistent.
Well, this year I think it is because he's got when he had Deshaun Jackson, he looked like Dan Marino out there.
Yeah. All right, moving on to another NFC matchup.
This was one I was shocked that it continued to look like it was just getting out of hand. I was going, they're just scoring. And I was going, if they played another time, I'm not sold. I haven't been sold this whole year that the Niners aren't going to lose 5 in a row.
Yeah.
I just when I've watched, it's like they're winning the teams that are screwing up. Like Cleveland throwing all those. I mean, Cleveland looked like they didn't even know what they were doing half the time. And the ball bounces a certain way. I was going, okay, they don't look bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they look horrible or you're going to. Their defense looks solid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which, do you see what Kittle said after the game?
No Gurley though. That's.
Yeah, that he plays a whole different game.
Oh, yes. And I didn't know that. I wouldn't have taken them. Wouldn't have taken the Rams.
It was when we filmed. I think he was questionable.
Yeah.
And then I think like Saturday they said, oh yeah, he's probably not playing, and then officially Sunday he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So Greg Kittle, the tight end, he was talking and he said, I know why Garoppolo threw those 5 interceptions against the Niners defense. It's because our defense is that good. But Rams have now dropped 3 straight, and they seem to have found the injury bug too.
One Zerline kick, and they're not 3.
Yeah, they're 1 and 2. Kittle over 100, or he had 100 yards exactly, I think, on 7 receptions on 8 targets, I think it was. Goff was sacked 4 times and only threw for 78 yards. No individual Rams player minus Goff had more than 50 yards. I think one of them had like 48, and then everyone else was below 40. And this is, to me, that also did expose a little bit the depth issue they have there at certain positions, primarily running back. And offensive line with the guard. Yeah, when the guard went out. And
they didn't have. The other thing is they didn't have Clay Matthews.
Yeah, and that's an issue.
There was somebody else that was out too. I was like, when they were doing the lineup, I'm like, oh my gosh, half their team's out.
Yeah, but once again, this is where depth comes an issue. You can't afford some of the guys you would want because now that they have the Rams traded for Jalen Ramsey yesterday, they sent Marcus Peters to the Ravens in exchange for linebacker Kenny Young, and then they sent 2 firsts and a 4th from 2021 to the Jaguars. They will now have the 5 top paid at their position in Jared Goff, Brandon Cooks, Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey. That hurts your depth.
Cooks is not the highest paid receiver.
No, he's one of the top 5 paid at his position. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You have 5 different players that are in the top 5 paid at their position.
Okay.
That's not a sustainable.
No, not at all. But I think you're going to see teams start to do more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at New England. New England was willing to pay
rises.
Well, no, not just that. They've got these guys on these 5-year rookie contracts. They're paying them peanuts.
Yeah.
Look at what New England was willing to pay for Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And you just go, they don't pay anybody like that.
No. They pay Stephon Gilmore like that, and he's worth every penny.
Oh, yeah.
Best corner in the league.
Best receiver on New England's team.
Which, that was hilarious. Adam Schefter, after Ramsey was traded, posted something about best corner in the game heads to L.A. And every single comment was, I thought Gilmore was still in New England. So, proud New England Patriots fans, making sure they don't forget who's the current All-Pro cornerback. Rams, they got to get something figured out quick. Yeah, it's never good when a team drops 3 straight games.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's never good when your team loses, but dropping 3 in a row, that's...
Well, not just 3.
2 of them were divisional.
Divisional. That's the thing right there.
Yeah. Moving on to the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Everything red, Pittsburgh Steelers at LA Chargers. That stadium atmosphere felt like LA Chargers at Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, every time.
There was a video going around, and if you showed it to someone who knew nothing about the NFL and said the towel wavers and the guys wearing yellow are the Steelers and everyone else are the Chargers fans, where are they playing at?
Oh yeah.
10 times out of 10, it would have every person would have said the Steelers. And multiple Steelers players commented on that again as like, man, it felt like a home game. It was great. In fact, they were so loud they actually forced the Chargers to go to a silent snap count at home. Oh, that is when you know things are not good, when the home team is having to go to a silent snap count, which the Steelers fan base always travels well. It's just
but it's a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
It's not even their stadium, which is being built. I mean, you can see.
Devin Bush is continuing to make his case for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He added 7 tackles, 1 interception, and fumble return for a touchdown to his already impressive resume.
To run more too.
I think they said combined Gordon and Eckler only got 32 yards on 14 rushes or something.
Yeah.
The final 2 throws by Rivers at the end of the game just dumbfounded me. That was a terrible final throw that got picked. He's always to me has had a really weird, awkward throwing motion.
Oh, he totally has a weird throwing motion.
But it just seemed even worse towards the end of the game. I mean, my gosh.
See, with that throwing motion, as somebody, because I've watched him since he's been on there. You never know if he's hurt.
Exactly. There's a couple times I'm like, is he maybe hurt? Because he's kind of planting weird on the back foot.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you someone who wasn't hurt. Hunter Henry, 8 receptions on 9 targets for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is so fun to watch. James Conner, he had a good night both receiving and rushing the ball for the Steelers. And, Devlin Hodges, he did just fine again. I view him right now as he's not going to win you a game, but he's not going to lose you a game. Kind of like Tyrod Taylor was for the Bills a couple years ago. He's not going to wow you and be like, wow, we won because of him. But it's not me. Oh, he just threw the game-sealing pick 6, or he just fumbled the ball.
I believe the term is game manager.
Game manager, yes. Which I hate putting that label on players.
If you win, I wouldn't care if they called me Pink Polka Dot Joe.
It's more just you're starting in the NFL right now. Yes, I know it's because of injury, but you're starting means you're a little more than a game manager. That's just my view on the matter.
You're on the 3rd string. You're a game manager.
So that was an entertaining game to watch. It was also painful just because you're like, oh my gosh, like there was one. It's like double coverage. And if Williams had even just put his hands out to try to catch it, but he just keeps running and it lands 2 feet in front of him. Like, if you put your hands out, you catch that, dude. Like, did you not know it was coming your way? Yeah. And that would have been like a 50-yard pass or something. Yeah. It was a crazy deep one. Yep. But yeah, I just saw it. I just kind of went, oh gosh. Moving on to the Monday night football game, the oft talked about in the last 24 hours, oft ridiculed ending.
The Lions could have been up 24-7 at half.
Yep. Detroit settled for 5 field goals that proved extremely costly. One of those had been a touchdown, potentially a different outcome. Packers win 23-22.
No, it would have been a different outcome.
It very much would have. Yeah,
they had so many opportunities.
They did
to put that game away, and it just reminds me of watching the Lions for the last 5, 6, 7 years. You just go a little bit more here, a little bit more there, and you would want. They should have won that game.
They should have won that game.
They should have won that game in Lambeau.
Yes.
And
Which
now
when's the last time you could say that?
you just go, okay, you've got to be able to win that game. I also think one of the problems that they have is they have no run game.
Nope, no run game.
No run game whatsoever. And I think maybe once they've established what their identity is, I think next year they might go get a running back.
Yeah.
Somebody that when you're on the 3 or 4 yard line, it's like, we're going to run the ball till we punch it in.
Yeah.
I mean, you just start going down top 10 teams. Just take the top 10 teams. And if it's not the quarterback running it in, there's a running back that's going to be running it in. Mm-hmm. And you know that there's going to be a formation and they're going to run the ball, and that's how it's going to be.
Yep.
Detroit, it's like, what are they going to do? A screen pass, try to do a fade route?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? It's not, they're going to hand the ball off to so-and-so, and he's going to run 4 yards right in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, that one guy dove for it 2-3 times?
Yeah.
I was like, come on.
Yeah.
I also didn't understand why they didn't quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
That was the thing I loved with Darnold.
Yeah. That was a great quarterback sneak.
6'4"? What is he, 6'4"?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great quarterback sneak.
Forward. Just like, boom, there you go. It was a good game, but I just look at that and go, the Lions had many opportunities to put it away. I mean, not.
Yeah.
It's going to be close.
I mean, I do agree with the old Bill Parcells line. You want to make it so officials don't impact the game, score more points.
Yeah,
Packers, they took advantage of the breaks they got. The Lions.
Well, it's like I told you too. I look at every home game, the visitors start with an 8-point disadvantage.
Yep.
Just because of calls and home field advantage, everything.
Yep. So Lions drop to 4th place in the NFC North. Packers.
That's still close.
Now have a 2-game lead over, I believe, everyone.
Still close. That division is still close.
Yeah. Oh, and it just got more murky if the Vikings keep trending like they did after this week.
This week they play the Lions. That's one of the picks we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And the Saints play
the Bears.
So there's going to be all kinds of crazy there.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our picks for this week. Starting out with the Thursday night game.
Kansas City the Broncos.
That's the Broncos. I'm going with the Chiefs.
So am I, but I'm not going to be shocked if this is closer than people think it's going to be.
I as well. Vic Fangio seems to have gotten that Broncos defense trending in the right direction, beating the Titans, the long cry from beating the Chiefs. But I'm picking the Chiefs, but it's going to be closer than people think in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't see it being a complete blowout. I don't.
No. Following that, we have a AFC South matchup. I'm excited.
This is the game I could literally flip a coin.
Yeah, literally. I am going with Houston. I won't be shocked.
So am I, actually. I'm
going with Houston.
I'm taking the Texans as well.
Yeah.
Because I think this is gonna allow a separation. This is gonna begin the separation.
Yeah.
And I think it's these two teams. I don't think Jacksonville is going to be in it. I don't think the Titans are going to be. I think it's going to be these two teams.
No, Titans are not going to be in it. In fact, Titans just benched they announced last night they've benched starting quarterback Marcus Mariota and are going with Ryan Tannehill. So I don't see Tennessee doing much this year. Moving on, we have the Saints at the Bears. I am going with the Saints.
Oh my gosh, so am I.
All right.
What I see this, I could see this being 7-3.
Yeah, I could see it being 6-3. You never know.
Yeah, I part of me wants to take the Bears. I might by the end of this come back and take the Bears. The Saints defense has been so good.
Yep.
And I go, the Saints defense can wreck the Bears offense,
Yes.
I believe, more than the Bears defense can wreck the Saints offense.
Yeah.
I could see all the points coming with kickers or 2 scores coming from the defenses.
Yeah. Yeah. So moving on to the NFC North matchup, Vikings at Detroit.
I'm taking Minnesota.
Okay, I'm differing here. I am going to take the Lions. I think they're going to be coming in very pissed off and wanting to prove themselves a little bit more. So I think Detroit is going to win this game. I can tell you, Trey Flowers is going to be ready for the game of his life, just to basically stick a middle finger to the NFL. I won't be shocked if the Vikings win, but I kind of feel like Detroit is. They feel, especially now, this is a must-win game for them if they want to stay anywhere close to.
Oh, it's a second divisional.
Exactly.
Because they play Minnesota and Green Bay. I believe it's the 2 of the last 3 or the last 2 games
like that
of the season.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I am taking Detroit. After that, we have a AFC NFC matchup, but a game that should be quite interesting. We have Baltimore Ravens making the trip to Seattle to play the Seahawks. I am going with Seattle. I think it's going to be a very close game, though.
I view this as a 1976 football game where it's going to be 400 yards rushing because that's what they're going to do. 2 teams that are there 2 more teams that are more running teams than these 2?
The Panthers with McCaffrey.
Well, but McCaffrey's like a Swiss Army knife.
Right.
He catches a lot, too. These are 2, hand the ball off between the tackles. You're taking Seattle as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have, for Sunday Night Football, we have
this one. Oh, my God.
NFC East matchup. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going with Dallas.
So
merely because they're the home team. If this was in Philly, I would most likely pick the Eagles.
I also think this game, if Prescott doesn't have 3 passing touchdowns,
he can kiss that contract wish goodbye.
Unless they're able to somehow win like 9 in a row.
Yeah.
Or that's no longer a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, this is who knows? Last year, the 2 matchups between these 2 teams were super, super entertaining, and both, I believe, came down to the wire. So who knows? Maybe this one will too, or it'll be a blowout. Moving on to the Sunday night game, we have the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. Difference in this game is the Jets have Darnold this time, whereas they did not last time. I'm still taking New England.
I am too. I just hope this is competitive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, oh wow. If the Jets beat them, I will be like, what? But I'm not gonna be as like, oh, are you kidding me? Only because I have been completely underimpressed. What is the opposite? Underwhelming. The Patriots' offense has been so underwhelming.
Agreed.
That defense has just been, we'll give you the ball. Their defense right now reminds me of when the year that Carolina went to the Super Bowl, where Newton, I don't know if Newton started 4 times in a game in his side of the field.
Yeah.
That New England defense right now is just killing. They are playing inferior teams, but they're doing what they're supposed to be doing to inferior teams.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't close. These are not close games.
No.
These aren't 27-23. And I do go back to, and the reason I say this is I think the Bills have a really good defense.
Yes.
And they pretty much shut down the Patriots offense.
Yes.
I don't think the Jets defense are as good as the Bills, but I think the Jets offense is better than the Bills offense.
Yeah.
But
and one
end of
interesting
the day, I think Patriots. I'm going with you. I think the Patriots are going to win, but I'm not going to be shocked if this is a 24-21 game.
I won't either.
The previous 35-14.
Yeah. No.
There.
One interesting note: there's a Michael Bennett was suspended by the team this week for conduct detrimental. They said he claimed it was a philosophical disagreement with his position coach, defensive line coach Brett Bielema. There are some rumors swirling. Mostly, it's just speculation by fans, but it's really gained a lot of traction rather quickly, just because New England still loves him. That they are potentially reaching out to the Lions to trade Bennett in exchange for Danny Amendola. And I'd be totally down with getting Amendola back in the system. But
that would be a great trade.
I would love it. Oh, man, I would be so happy to have him back.
Both sides.
I agree, because then you have a premier pass rusher to put opposite Flowers.
I wouldn't call him a premier. He was a premier.
He was a premier.
He's still but.
And Patriots get a known commodity that knows Tom Brady trusts, and the fans love. And especially come playoff time.
In 14 weeks, that's when this guy turns into
playoff time, baby.
Yeah.
Playoff Dola. But yeah, so should be a good slate of games this week. I'm excited for a lot of these games.
Texans Colts. That's the one.
Such a good game.
That's the one I'm actually looking forward to. The Chiefs Broncos.
Yeah.
And then the Minnesota Detroit game. The Saints Bears I want to watch, but it's lower on this. I would the one that I want to see top one, and then I'd say 1 and 1A is the Texans Colts, and then Vikings Lions.
Detroit, yeah.
And then after that, I think it'd be Eagles at Cowboys, only because I'm familiar with both of those. I had my brother-in-law's a Redskins fan. I think I told you that.
Yeah.
And we all hate. And then there's a guy I know that's an Eagles fan, and we all hate the Cowboys more than the other team. Somebody asked me one time, why is that? And I said, because I've never rooted for the Redskins to beat anybody other than the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Eagles other than the Cowboys. And I had to say, are you familiar with the Lord of the Rings? The elves and the humans and the dwarves don't get along, but they all hate the orcs.
Right.
The orcs are the Cowboys. Everybody hates the goblins or orcs, whatever you want to call them. Everybody hates them. That's when they team up against them. And then I'm hoping that I just hope it's a good game. The Monday night game is a good game.
Yeah, I do too. All right, so there are our picks for the week. Be sure to
one game swing.
One game swing.
So you're either going to be 2 games on me, or we're going to be tied.
Tied again.
Hopefully, it's 6 wins and not 3 and 4 or 4 and 3.
Right. Hopefully.
We got to pass this mediocre.
Yeah. All right. Be sure to give us a like on our Facebook page at the Kyle and Not Kyle Show, and hit the subscribe button. Feel free to leave your own picks in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.